Welcome to the show, guys. Your host Josh. We're supposed to have some analysts to join us shortly, but in the meantime, World Cup is up on us, and tonight we are looking at the final World Cup two groups, right? So we have two more groups that we're looking on tonight. Some people think that both of these groups are actually the toughest groups, and that's Group E, which involves Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, and Japan, and Group H, which involves Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, Korea Republic. So those are the two remaining groups that we're looking on tonight. And um, just for our viewers' sake and those who are participating in our Sports Frenzy competition, right, we will doing a draw for the bonus card and the wild card on Monday. So whosoever name comes up first will actually be awarded 5 points and have the opportunity to change their pick after halftime in one of the games. So look out for that, guys. We have over 20,000 in prizes to be won. And big up to our commenters so far. I'm seeing live Jermaine Watson, bless up, Cadian, as well as sensational music. That's Robbie. Robbie, you need to join us. Um, Michelle, big up you as well. So, guys, remember that our Sports Friends this competition, the deadline for that is tomorrow at 9 a.m. And then we do the bonus feature draw on Monday for one person that's supposed to be rewarded at 5 points as well as the opportunity to change their pick at halftime during one of the games. So they'll be allowed to change one of their picks. So tonight we're looking at two groups, right? And like I said, shortly we're supposed to be joined by some of our analysts, including Arsenal and others. So two of the groups that we're looking on tonight is Group E and Group H. So that's Group E with Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, and Japan. And I'm going to post up the Germany squad right now, so you guys will have a better view of what the squad is like and the players that were selected for the tournament actually. So I'm going to go ahead and post that squad right now, so you guys will have an idea. So that's the Germany squad, people. So basically, in the Germany squad for goalkeepers, we have Bernlino, Mark Andre Ter Stegen, Kevin Trapp. And for the defense, we have Jerome Boateng, Matthias Ginter, Onas Hector, Mats Hummels, Joshua Kimmich, Marvin Plattenhard, Antonio Rudiger, Nicolas Sule. That's for the defense. For the midfield, we have Julian Brandt, Emre Can, Julian Draxler, Mario Gomez, Leon Goretzka, Ike Gudogan, Sami Khedira, Thomas Muller, Metsu. Sorry, I think this is from the 2018. Sorry, that's the 2018 squad. Not the right squad, people. That's the 2018 squad. Once I see Ozil name, I realize that's the 2018 squad. So let me post the Spain squad right now. Um, and have a look at that. Yeah, welcome to the show, Arsenal. How are you doing?
Not bad, Josh. Good night to the listeners and the viewers as well.
All right, big up Fresh God as well in our comment section. So big up yourself. Um, I'm looking at the Spain squad now. I was just about to read out the players that were selected for the World Cup in Qatar. So goalkeepers, we have Simon, Robert Sanchez, and David Raya. And then for defenders, we have Danny Carvajal, Aspilicueta, Eric Garcia, Paul Torres, Hugo Gilliman, Laporte, Jordi Alba, Jose Gaya. And for midfielders, we have Sergio Busquets, Rodri, Gavi, Carlos Soler, Marcos Llorente. Pedri, and Koke. And for forwards, we have Yermi Pino, Ferran Torres, Nico Williams, Alvaro Morata, Marco Asensio, Pablo Sarabia, and Dani Almo, as well as Ansu Fati. What do you make of this Spanish team, Ham?
Just a quick update, Josh. I know that was the original squad, but remember that Gaia went down injured and was
Yeah,
replaced by Alejandro Balde from Barcelona. Versatile fullback, able to play on the other side, which is the right side, but he's naturally left-footed. 19 years old, has had quite a number of first-team opportunities this season with Barcelona. Actually, was introduced first with Ronald Koeman during that poor start that they had to the previous season, but he has shown improvement. As it relates to the squad, controversial selections, no David De Gea. When you look at those goalkeepers, they're not necessarily filled with confidence, Josh. When I Simon, based on the three that are there, will be the incumbent, but you struggle to see how these goalkeepers would inspire confidence. As you go through the squad, at centre back, Guillermo is really a midfielder who's able to play in a defensive role, obviously fancied by Luis Enrique, hence his selection. There were calls for Sergio Ramos, notwithstanding his advancing age, but for the first time in IDC about 3 years, he has shown a prolonged fitness where he has been fit. So I thought that he would have had a look in, but really and truly, I think this squad is a young squad, but it has shown growth because they made a good fist of it in the previous European Championships, despite many people writing them off. But Josh,
yeah,
my
they did.
issue
They
with
did
them,
win the semis. Yeah,
and they also went to the Nations League final,
right.
and they're in this final as well. But I struggle to see where they will score enough goals. I expect them to have lots of possession. I think Ryan will agree with me because we've spoken about this before. That Spain, we expect them to dominate possession, but I struggle to see the cutting edge. It's a travesty that this midfield doesn't have the likes of David Villa, who would be able to really, really score goals because I know they'll create chances. Also, Thiago Alcantara is another glaring omission. Thought that he would have made the squad, but really and truly, he has not found favor with Luis Enrique, so he was also out. But I think it's a decent squad. I think he needs to play um, Busquets on the bench because I think Rodri definitely should start in that holding role as the number six. But Busquets being the captain, I think he will start. I think he's going to put rank, but I think he'll be best served with having Busquets not necessarily starting, especially the high pressure games, because while he's still technically as sound as ever before, his age and legs have really shown, especially this season.
All right, Ryan, what do you make of this Spanish team?
Okay. For the past year and a half, maybe 2 years, Luis Enrique has been consistent with um, the squads that he has picked, and based on that, he has gotten a lot of backlash from the Spanish fans, home and abroad, based on a lot of favorites that he might have left out over time, and he has continued to do that. However, that said, Spain tends to do well. They have done well since he has been there in over the last couple of years. They have gone to the Nations League finals. They went to the Euro semis. They are now in another Nations League semifinals, and so they have been doing very well. However, they have not been playing great, consistent football, and um, they have a system. The system is clear. They have a system. They don't score a lot of goals. They lose games here and there that they're not supposed to lose, but they have done very well in terms of making it deep into competitions. So that is a plus for them. I think they also beat Germany 6-0 some time ago
Six,
recently.
6-1.
Some six something. Yeah.
That was a shocking result.
Huh?
That was a shocking result at the time.
Yeah. Imagine that at the World Cup now.
Yeah, imagine that
Yeah,
at the World Cup. Yeah.
but as I said, he has left out a lot of favorites. With the goalkeeping department, he has left out Dia for the past years. I wasn't shocked at that. However, you have Raya and Sanchez, who basically are not better goalkeepers than De Gea, but for Enrique, clearly they fit the system that he wants. Kepa is back in form and had a very good shout. He chose to leave him out, probably because he was not with them over the last year or so. In Thiago, Alcantara was one of those he has also left out consistently. So a lot of those who he has left out for this squad, I wasn't really surprised by because it has been something that he has been doing over the past year or more, for the most part. However, if this does not work out, then he's going to get some serious backlash. But over the last year or so, it tends to have worked out. So this World Cup will tell us if they have really gelled as a squad and how far they can go. Spanish man time now. We know more
Well, it's
country.
punishment time now. Dima, your team.
Yeah, good night everybody. Big up everybody in the comment section. It's been a minute. So let me say this. This Spain is actually a very disgusting team. Like I don't see us leaving the group stage. I think that we'll finish third. I think that Germany and Japan will actually go through ahead of us in that because this team it's ridiculous what Enrique has done. A lot of young players, and Spain has been in the rebuilding process for a minute. Ever since that golden generation, we used to play the false nine and the Fabregas up front, and then we have David Villa and Torres. Ever since that time, we struggle to find a proper number nine, which I think Morata has been trying to fill, but obviously it's not good enough. And now we're coming to a World Cup tournament with a lot of bits and pieces players, young players or old players, or players just trying to build a name in football. And for me, it's horrible. Thiago has been having a wonderful season for Liverpool when he plays, and he's left out. And for a team who is looking to dominate the ball and keep possession, there's no way if you leave Thiago. David De Gea has been having an outstanding season, and I don't care how good the other keepers are with their feet, he has to be on the plane to the World Cup, and he should have been in the team as well. He's one, and sure he didn't have a great. I think he was horrible actually in the last time he played for us. Ball or roll stream foot and all of them stuff there. But he's been outstanding this season. And if we're picking players off form, I don't care how good you are with your foot. You have De Gea has just been amazing as a goalkeeper. So he had to be there as well. If you look at the defense, you have old guys there, and like I said, guys just looking to build a name for themselves. So the Pau Torres and these guys, but you have Aspilicueta there for experience, and you leave Sergio Ramos, which sure you can probably say him, oh, I never have a good season, but we need somebody like that in the backline who commanding and who command respect not only from the players, the younger players, but also the older players in the team as well. Everybody look up to Sergio Ramos as a legend. And if you go for the forward line, it's just like bits and part players, Ferran Torres and Danny Olmo. I not even remember if Danny Olmo in the team.
Yes, he is.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Like just some bits part players, like nobody who you can say I gonna set the world alight. Nico Williams just coming out on the scene and he
Arabia.
scored for us. Like I just pure bit parts players, have no complete. The only person you can say complete is Morata, and he's not even good enough. You know what I mean? So I think our defense is lacking, our forward line is lacking, and the best part of this team is obviously the midfield. I don't think it will be strong enough to take us out of the group. So people can cuss and say me a joke all they want. I've been watching Spain for a very long time, and this is one of the weakest teams I've seen ever assembled by a Spain manager.
Question. I see
Yeah.
Michelle said uh, Ramos will get a red card. Ramos has never gotten a red card for Spain, right?
I'm not remembering that either.
Never.
I think there was something that came out that said he has gotten a red card for only club but not country.
I'm not remembering him getting a record for Spain either.
Just remember you heard it here first. Spain isn't leaving the group, boss.
So do you guys think, as one of you mentioned, or a few of you, that De Gea was left out because of the style of play that Enriquez wants to employ. So meaning that play it from the back, and De Gea is not good at that. Do you think that's the main reason?
Yeah, obviously because De Gea was in the Euro squad last year. So obviously it has to do something with his. I mean, the two goalkeepers that are there now are good goalkeepers, but they're not. For me, they're not better than De Gea with as far as goalkeeping go in terms of keeping the ball out of the net. But in terms of the style of play, I think the reason he's left out is because of that.
Or because of that? You agree, Mr. Ham?
Yes, I do. When I look at David Raya, very very good with his feet, but to begin with, he's only 6 feet tall, and when you're 6 feet tall at international level, he's undersized. We see that in the Premier League. He does a very good job for Brentford, which is a team that punches above its weight. But when you come to international football, I think you really should be picking the best players, and as Demo rightfully mentioned, picking them on form and over a protracted period. I think De Gea has exercised the ghost of 2018, and there was, and I think Josh, you being a Man U fan, you can testify to this. I think when he was linked with that move, and we all expected him to leave, I
To
think
Real Madrid.
his form nosedived. Which was after the World Cup. For about 2 years, he was a shadow of himself. But
Yeah,
I
that's
think
where
he
his
has,
form actually went just downhill.
I
After
think
that,
he
he
has
moved to Real Madrid.
precisely. I think he has re-enhanced his reputation to most pundits and just casual fans. So it's kind of strange. And as Ryan mentioned, he was a part of the squad at the last European Championships. And when you look at Unai Simon, doesn't inspire confidence at Athletic Bilbao. So it's not like he's in Spain pulling up trees at San Mamés. So let's not fool ourselves. As Dimo rightfully said, just looking at the squad, it does not really inspire confidence. Yes, they're going to have a lot of ball possession, but I think it's going to be sterile possession, guys. Lack of cutting edge, as he mentioned, players who are on the cusp of retirement, like Jordi Alba, Carvajal. How much longer does he have to go? Aspilaqueta, able servant. Koke is a strange selection, guys. I can't see the logic selecting this Koke instead of Thiago Alcantara. And
Yeah,
Man,
Koke, very good player, but we have seen he has gone off the boil for
yeah,
quite
he has
some
been
time.
off from
Not
Saul.
not the same player, and I think it has just been synonymous with that entire Atletico Madrid team. They don't seem stale and they seem one piece. We saw Saul, who many persons thought would have made a good fist of it in the Premier League because we thought that his game was one that would be fit for the Premier League, and we saw where he was woefully off color for Ryan's team last season, and they couldn't wait to get him out the door. He has not shown much in his return
Who's
to
that? Who's
Wanda
that?
Metropolitano.
Who's that?
And
Saul Liguez.
Saul,
Oh,
Saul.
Saul, Saul. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Yes,
also, I remember that Koke and Saul were seen as the future of Spain midfield years ago.
precisely. But but
When they
but
won
but
the
but
under 21
but
Euros,
Josh, but
like
but
they were
Josh,
seen as those that we star in Spain team right now.
I think, guys, and I think you'll all agree. I think when they really were in, especially Koke, in 2014, Koke should have been a starter for me in that Spanish midfield. There are no two ways about it. He was coming off of winning La Liga. He was the driving force,
Was he in that Spain
and
team, by the way?
he was a part of the squad, but
He
But he
went
was
to the
a
World
but
Cup in
yes,
2014.
but
Oh.
remember, Ryan, our issue was similar to what Germany faced in 2018, where they were still holding on to that
the
golden
same players
generation,
that won the World Cup.
and precisely, and we saw where they were just blown away by the Dutch in that first game, and they couldn't recover. So I think it's a strange squad selection. I think they really really should feel hard on, because I think while the other goalkeepers are able with their feet, I don't think as holistic goalkeepers go, I don't think, and the main thing a goalkeeper's main gambit should be to keep the ball out of the back of the net. And I think of the four, I think he would be the best equipped. When I look at Sanchez, when I look at Rhea, look at Simon, and even Kepa, I think would have been a better show than these three.
Yeah, but here's my
Something.
point. Just to finish up on the goalkeeper thing. Like in this World Cup, is anything going to come down to which goalkeeper can pass the ball out best? For me,
I
what is going to determine who is going to win or lose a game is how you
keeping the
save the
ball up,
ball.
keeping the
Like,
ball out of the back of the net. Totally
and
agree
Gea
with you.
is the best out of all of them. Like, me no business about Unai Simon and if him can pass. Like, bro, you're not going to give us an assist in the World Cup. Like, me not really care about the pattern of play right there. I need somebody to keep the ball out of the back of the net. That's it for me.
Some Reese Simon. I remember recently somebody and I were having a conversation about him, and he said something which is very true that Spain don't normally play until Unai Simon make a mistake. So, and it's true each time. And when you look at it, Unai Simon has a mistake in him each
He
game,
definitely
and
does.
then
Definitely does.
yeah, and then it seems as if it kickstarts Spain to actually start playing football.
Yeah.
I'm seeing in the comment, some of our person mentioned that Owen Green, the advantage was Spain have most of the players play in La Liga and used to each other. Do you agree with that? Especially the Barcelona players. That I see more than one person mention that they are used to each other in terms of chemistry. Do you guys agree?
I mean, used to each
Uh,
other to what
yeah,
end?
in a sense, because as I said, they are in the in the Nations League semi. They went to a final. They went to the semifinals of Euros. So to some degree, yes. Even though they're not convincing, they seem to find a way how to get the job done to some extent.
All
Boss,
right.
but me not buy into the, I mean, to what end though? Germany team used to each other, most of them playing a
Yeah.
Bundesliga.
Byron.
Like to what end are like
England,
whether to go
English
do?
League, England play in a year. So
Yeah, me not get it.
Probably it's coming off chemistry. All right, we're going to look at Spain main challengers in that group, and it's Germany, right? And they seem to have some similar issues regarding Spain, but not as bad as Spain. What you guys make of them? That's this Germany team.
Germany, I think Germany is in a weird transitional phase right now in terms of young, not so young, and old. Young, experience, and old. I think they're in a weird transitional phase right now. Um, I think they can be hit or miss as it stands. To me, they're not that convincing for me. They have a very good midfield, like one of the best in the World Cup, in the world actually. Very
Right.
good midfield. Their defense, nothing to write home about. Their goalkeeping, very good goalkeepers, very good goalkeepers. So they are very good in midfield and very good in the goalkeeping department, but sketchy everywhere else. Their attacking, Gnabry has kind of fallen off. Havertz is not what we expected him to be. Um, Musiala is up and coming, very good player, one for the future.
So sorry,
Uh,
he chose Germany, but continue.
huh?
I'm sorry that he chose Germany, but continue.
Oh yeah, so am I. Yeah, and the other supporting cast. Well, they have two players now in the forward line who basically, I think one just made his debut. I don't know if Adiam. I
So
mean,
for Mokoko,
both of them made their debut. Yeah,
yeah.
no, recently. So they have inexperienced players who got picked before they played their first game for Germany. So it's very sketchy for me. It can go either way. It can go either two ways. They can. For me, I don't have them to come out of the group. To be honest with you,
But here's the thing with Germany over the
I
world over
have
World Cup.
Japan. I have Japan and Spain. That is my
Oh, you have Japan
surprise.
and Spain. All
I
right.
have
So
Japan and Spain to come out of the group over Germany. I
Dima,
just think Germany. I just think Germany situation is very weird right now in
oh yeah,
terms
yeah,
of
it's
the
going to say
balance
it's
of the
very
squad.
weird. So Dima, actually Germany and Japan, you have Spain and Japan, right? But Germany over the over World Cup tournaments, except the last one, right? They always tend to be unpredictable. You don't know what they're coming with, but they always do well.
Yeah.
But the last
This
tournament,
can, as I said, this can go
there's
either
a
two ways.
tournament team.
Them can go all the way a semi or maybe a final, and you'll be like, where did this came from?
Yeah.
Or they can just fall away easily. It can be one or two things with Germany.
All right, Mr. Ham, what you make of this Germany team?
I totally agree with Ryan's assessment. Read the squad. brilliant goalkeepers. Neuer, the incumbent, Ter Stegen, even Alex Noble, who is seen as the new rising star of German goalkeeping. He's owned by Bayern Munich, bought from Schalke, so the same trajectory as Manuel Neuer all those years ago. On loan at Monaco, he didn't make the cut to show how deep their goalkeeping pool is. Centre backs, I think Rudiger and Sula, maybe the two that he goes with as opposed to Schlotterbeck. But it's a defense that I think can be breached. Ram is better going forward. I think Gosens would have been the favorite to play down the left hand side, but he got injured. Then he went into hasn't really shown the form that he had at Atalanta. So I think Ram will start there, but I think his best work is going forward. And on the right hand side, Hoffman is really a converted winger who does a job down that side. Midfield, we know them Gundogan and also Kimmich, and if needs be Goretzka, able very very good replacement for the two. And further forward, that's where the issues start to really show. Sane has never really done it for Germany. Remember the big uproar, guys, last World Cup he wasn't selected, and we thought Germany was one piece because he could bring that cutting edge.
Right.
For some reasons, he wasn't selected. He has been having a very good season for Bayern Munich this season. So he enters the competition with good form behind him. Gnabry is a streaky player, guys. Scores in bunches. Scores three, then he disappears. Scores four. He is really hit and miss. And Musiala, what can I say? He's arguably the best player in the Bundesliga so far this season. And Thomas Muller is still there, so he will still offer an option for Hansi Flick. And further forward to lead the line, Fulkrug, I think Levon, who is a big German supporter, has him as his choice to lead the line instead of the inexperienced Mukoko. And Adeyemi, I've been slightly disappointed, Josh, because I expected him to kick on after doing so well at Salzburg last season. This huge move to Borussia Dortmund hasn't looked the same player.
Yeah,
Yes, he
that's
has been
true.
suffering from injuries, and I think a big loss, guys, is Florian Wirtz because I think Wirtz was
Yes.
having a stellar
Yeah.
campaign, and I think he is um, undoubtedly one of the biggest talents across Europe. He has returned to the pitch, so I think he will be playing when the season restarts, club season for Bayer Leverkusen. But I'm not convinced by this German team. I think Japan will not have anything to fear from these two big guns. They will start favorites, obviously, but I think Japan, especially the way how they play with all
Yeah,
that
the way
pace
all
in
they
attack,
set up and play, right?
I think they can really really get at them just like how we saw South Korea get at the
South Korea.
Germans the
That's
last
my
time
thinking
around.
too. South
And
Korea.
if Germany play the same way like how they play against England in Euros, right? Then that Japan side will have might pose a big challenge to them.
Because I think
And
I
try to
think
put them
guys,
on counter.
I think Josh, I'm sorry to cut you. I think it's same issue that Spain has. All that position, I think Germany
Possession,
will
right?
also have that issue because they're a position based team. Yes, they have players who can, if they are on their game, Sane and Gnabry from the wide areas can really really hurt. But Sane still has a big point to prove at international level, and Gnabry, as I mentioned before, very very streaky. We don't know which one will turn up on the day, but I think they will start the favorites, but the Japanese have definitely more than a puncher's chance.
And that game with Spain, the Spain versus Germany game, it seems to be a board fest to many persons. That game, particular, might be a nil-nil draw, 1-1 draw.
No, no. So here's the thing. Like I said, right? And I know Ryan said he had Spain and Japan to come out, right? So for me, I already told you guys how this group will turn out. At the end of it all, Spain and Japan will be on 4 points. Like we're both lose to Germany, and then we're going to beat Costa Rica, both teams, and that's going to be the 4 points, and it's going to come down to goal difference at the end of the thing because this will be a draw between Spain and Japan. And it is going to be who is going to be the most potent against Costa Rica. And I think that Japan team will have more in terms of goals going forward than the Spain team. I don't see a lot of goals coming from Spain, and I think goal difference will be the edge to not make Spain go through the group.
So Demo, what you make of this German side?
Yeah,
Basically.
so the German team, I mean, I not add nothing else. Like, the guy said everything that's there to be said. I just think that they though have more goals in them than the Spain team, and that's why I have them coming out ahead of Spain. Musiala is on fire, and as you mentioned, Sane and all of these guys, they have more goal threats going forward. So I think that they'll go through ahead of Spain.
All right, and just in case, if both Germany and Spain go through the group, right, one of them will play like a Brazil in the second round. So basically, you're expecting Brazil to win that matchup.
Yeah,
Any regarding whether Germany or Brazil or Spain go through.
Massacre,
yeah,
You're
massacre.
expecting Brazil to, so you don't think like Brazil normally played they have a thing against the Germans, right?
Right now Brazil will face Germany.
Wait, so they're gonna
They will want to see Spain.
So based on how you guys have been analyzing the group so far, you're all of you guys are basically saying you're not expecting a good World Cup for the European teams. Then that's
In
based
this
based on what
group,
I'm seeing. You
Not
guys,
in this
expecting what?
group.
a good team from a good showing from European major powers.
I
I'm gonna think Spain is a major
not
power no more,
necessary.
boss.
Not necessary. I just think that
Are
they
you
will
guys not
become.
expecting anything from England? You guys not
I just think
expecting anything
no.
from
I'm just
England?
expecting. I expect there to be a lot of
Which team?
upsets, especially where the European teams are concerned.
Okay, I think
But
you guys probably like Netherlands.
obviously, two European teams, maybe three will be in the well, two
Quarter.
at least two will be in the semifinals.
Okay. All right. Our next group, which is our final group, is Group
So you not
H.
look on
Last
Costa
group.
Rica, boss. What
Yes, no
disrespect.
mention of
Yeah.
Costa Rica.
Sorry. Yeah. My apologies to the CONCACAF people. Yes, Costa Rica, right?
You
So
did
they are
Japan
from
already,
our
right?
region. Huh?
You did
No, he
Japan
No,
already?
didn't.
No, I'm going to do Japan as well. So Costa Rica,
Oh.
yes, our CONCACAF team. What do you guys what are you guys expecting from them?
The
Dima, since
whipping boys in the whipping boys in the group, they'll get flogged. I mean, everybody should pick up points off them. Um, I mean, I don't remember the whole squad, but from what I remember, it's just the same old and slow players. Um, Not much. I mean, we saw that they barely made it out. I mean, we played them. We played them. I don't remember what the result was with Jamaica and them, but from watching them, they,
1-1 over there and 1-0
mhm,
out here. We lost
oh,
1-0 out here.
1-0. Yeah, I remember. So I mean, it wasn't nothing for right home about. They were just old and slow, and I expect everybody to beat them in the group. So
but
yeah.
Costa Rica has a thing for playing players from their league that no one knows about, like on the world stage, or normally they tend to call up some players from their league that young players that
You
most
know,
people
have the
don't
squad.
play. I'm
I
trying to
don't think
You
they're
know,
as good as they were. I don't think they're as good as they were before the last World Cup or two World Cups.
you don't think they're
I
good as
I expect them to come last in the group.
what do you make of that group, Ham? What do you make of Costa Rica? Sorry.
yes, the issue with Costa Rica is that the spine of the team is aging and not aging gracefully. But Keylor Navas, with Keylor Navas in goal, we saw it in 2014, Joshua. I said that England would go out. I
Yeah.
remember when they were in that group with three former world champions, and somehow Keylor Navas did wonders, and they had a goal or two in them. Uh, the captain, Brian Ruiz, Nemo is still there. 36 years old. Technically brilliant player, but doesn't have the
mm,
legs to get around the park anymore.
yep,
Joel
yep.
Campbell is still there. But guys, I think we should look out
Yeah.
for Bennett and Contreras. Bennett is highly touted, playing his straight Josh for Sunderland, and he got his break late on in World Cup qualifying, and he scored shortly after making his international debut. So he is seen as the next big thing. 18 years old, Contreras. I think is around 20. So it's a very, very old squad. Celso Borges, this is someone who played against people like Theodore Whitmore at the back end of their career. So these guys have been around for some time. So it's an aging squad.
Brian
But
Oviedo.
Still there.
Oviedo is still there as well. So it's basically
Yeah,
the same players, guys, who we would have known for the better part of 10, 15 years who are still there.
yeah, it's basically the same set of players. But as I mentioned, and Contreras and who is actually
And
yeah,
and and Bennett.
and Bennett, right?
Yes.
They have two youngsters in that team. So you
So
expect both of them to start, right?
well, they would be best advised to start with them along with Campbell because we expect them to be defending against these teams for very long periods, and then they will need the fresh young legs going the other way when they get possession of the ball. And in Ruiz, if he gets time on the ball, we know he can pick a pass, but his issue is that he doesn't have the legs anymore. We saw that even when he was at Fulham at the peak of his powers, technically brilliant player, but just didn't have the mobility that should go along with someone of his technical acumen. So I think they will struggle to get points out of these teams. They need Navas to
Mm.
do what he did in
Save them.
2014.
So as I was mentioning to Dima earlier, normally they pick a lot of players from the league, right? I'm seeing that Anthony Contreras actually played for Herediano, one of their top clubs. He's 22. Are you surprised that at that age he isn't in Europe right now? In
Not
prefer like
not
a La
necessarily.
Liga, or is not
Not
good?
necess- Not necessarily. I wouldn't say he isn't good enough. Some of the times, guys, we will all agree on this. Some players are late bloomers. Contreras, I think this has to be his platform to really really show the watching world what he can do because I think he has the skill set to succeed in Europe. He has good pace, good technical ability. He's direct. He offers something that I think the Costa Ricans will definitely benefit from. So I'm not going to say that if he was good enough, he would already be in Europe because we have seen it. Because all right, look at someone like Moses Caicedo,
Yeah.
who until a year ago was still playing his trade at Independiente de Valle in Ecuador. And this is a player who was taken to the Premier League like the proverbial duck to water. So you have some players who they aren't scouted early. There are some issues why they don't leave, and you have some players who definitely don't want to leave early because they figure that they need probably an extra year. While you have some players who make the move early, and then when they retire, they will say to you that they figure that they probably should have stayed a year or two longer in their domestic league, so that prepare them mentally and physically to make that move across the Atlantic. But guys, if Navas can get back to that form, never say never. I always try to give the smaller teams in these groups a chance. And that Navas save from Salpingidis in 2014, I think it ranks up there with Gordon Banks' save from Pele all those years ago. Arguably the best save in World Cup history. So good it was.
You
All
save
right.
off who?
Didn't hear that, Ryan?
Who was that save off? Remind me.
Salpingidis. When they played against Greece in the round of 16, it was
Oh, with the one that went to penalty shootout. That's all.
yes and yes. But like if you have the chance, guys, to look for it, it's a save that lives long in the memory. Navas, the issue though, guys, I can't believe that he is the one who has taken to the Premier League.
Yeah, seems like we lost some there.
Mm.
So yeah. All right, so the other team in the group is Japan, right? And I won't try to pronounce those Japanese names. Perhaps Dima can try.
Ooh, brother,
But
all me know Akubo and Takumi Minamino, the
oh
Liverpool
yeah, you know
legend.
Mina from your team.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know
Yes.
all the names, obviously, but I've seen them play and I've seen them play a number of games, and they are just so energetic. Their press is on point. and they just play so fluent. I mean, no fear football, and you just can't write off this Japan team, especially against the teams that are in this group. I think they're not that far off from the two top dogs in there, and I'm just giving them the edge because of how energetic I've seen them play, and then front foot football that I see them play going forward. Kubo obviously the X factor, and Takumi Minamino, he always does well for Japan whenever I see him play. So looking forward to see him at the World Cup.
And about Japan, right? One of the weird thing about Japan is that they had a slow start in qualifiers, right? You remember that,
Yeah.
guys?
Mm.
In until some persons were saying that they weren't going to make it based on what they needed to do, right? So they had a very slow
Mm.
start, but then they bounced back against, I think it was Australia that they needed to beat, and they bounced back against Australia, and from then they start winning until they qualify for the what their fifth World Cup, successive World Cup since Jamaica 98, 2002, 6,
Yeah,
10,
they've never missed the World Cup.
no more. So what do you think about them, Ryan?
Well,
Mainly,
I have them to come out of the group, so I think I left them.
and that would be a
Uh,
first, right? Have they
No,
ever
would
made
they?
it to the second round?
no, they came
No,
out of the
no.
group
And
in
they always
2002.
When they hosted it, they came out in
Yeah,
O2.
apart from when
O2.
they hosted it.
Yeah, I think they went to round of 16, if not quarters, one of those. Yeah.
Right.
But I expect them to do very well. I expect them to. Um, hold on. When they played Belgium, was that a knockout game?
No, it was a
yeah,
group
and them
stage game.
Yeah,
when
it was
them
a
almost
knockout.
beat them,
Yes, it was a
It was a
knockout game,
knockout
yeah,
game,
man.
right?
It was one
Yeah.
of 16.
and
All
the
right.
Yeah,
two, I
now
think
beat
one
Belgium.
late goal knocked them out.
All
Yeah.
right. What you make of this
I think
Japanese?
they're a balanced team in terms of how they play. They might not have all of the big names like the other two teams in the group, but they play a balanced style of football. They have a they have developed a football culture and a football ideology over the last 20 odd years. And you can see that they are becoming a better team over time. They might not have the big names at the big clubs like that, but they have a core system that they're playing towards.
Yeah, how can we forget Tomiyasu from Arsenal too?
Yeah. Some players
Always
never.
injured. Always injured. Hopefully fit.
All right. Ham, what you make of this Japan side?
It's a very, very balanced team. As the guys rightfully mentioned, very, very dangerous outfit. One name that I have not heard you guys mention, Kamada, Daichi Kamada, Eintracht Frankfurt, hot shot.
Oh
Doing the
yeah,
business in
yeah, yeah.
Europe. Yup,
Yes,
very,
and
very dangerous.
the guy from Brighton,
Mitoma
Mitoma.
from Brighton. There's
Roma.
Morita from Sporting. So they have players right across Europe, guys. Even Dyson Maida from Celtic. They have a very, very good crop of players. They have experience in like Hasebe. Yes, he is getting to the end of his rope. But he's the captain of the Blue Samurai, and I think they will push the two European giants to the hilt, because I think they have that cutting edge. We saw them guys recently against the US in a warm up game, and they looked a class apart from the United States. I think the goalkeeper for the US was the one who kept that score respectable, because they just looked like they could have beaten them
How did
by
that end
six,
again?
seven
Remind me.
goals. I think it was 2-0, or was it 2-1? But trust me, whether 2-0 or 2-1, it wasn't anything as close as the final score
Yeah, that's what I heard. I
reflected.
heard that they really
Yep, they
took
really,
USC
really looked
apart.
they looked dynamic on the counter attack. They're pacey, and some of the big guns didn't even play. There's Junior Ito, who is another one to look out for. So guys, uh, still going with Germany, and the more I look at this
Spain.
Japanese team, it's the more but I'm gonna still stick with Spain, just because I just think Spain um
Quality.
has a little bit more quality, but I wouldn't be surprised if Japan um gets 7 points from this group.
Mm.
So good is their talent pool, and so dangerous are their attackers. Because I think Minamito I think the biggest weapon for me is Kamada, because I think he is more of a goal scorer than Minamino. Minamino will be pulling the strings, but in
Yeah.
Maida, and Maida does not play, guys. Kamada does not even play as the main striker. He plays in the hole, so he is difficult to pick up from the centre backs, and I think he will find himself against the likes of Sula and Rudiger, because Rudiger, his issue is that he likes to bomb forward and leaves that space in behind for Spain, Laporte, and I think Pau Torres, because I think he would be foolish to start with Eric Garcia, who was showing nothing resembling
What?
form.
Don't remind
Um,
me say that man make the team, please.
it defies logic, because Garcia has been so out of form, yet still
You
he
Oh,
remember
outshone
what? You remember when I said two left footers couldn't play centre back together?
precisely, because that's what we
mm,
have with Pau Torres, and I think Torres,
mm,
guys, I think he has long been linked with Josh's club,
yeah.
Yeah, long.
And
but it's still
it can also become something where Spain have four left footers around here because
precisely
Balde can play right
Balde
back.
can play on the right hand
Yeah.
side along with Alba on the other side. So you're so correct, Ryan.
All right, so that's the end of
Wait,
group.
there, Josh. Yoshida,
Yeah, he's
they
there.
did it.
Yes,
Yes,
yep.
there.
Wow. I hope they can, do homage to the legends like Honda and them man. They, remember
Nagatomo is
Casiti
still there.
Honda.
And Nakato,
Wow. But you remember Honda though?
yeah, I
Yep,
remember on that.
Kaizuki Honda
Yeah.
and
And the thing
Suzuki.
about this Japan side, they play the ball very quick. I think that is
Yeah,
going to cause
dynamic.
problems. So a possession-based team like Germany and Spain, they really play with the football, the ball quick. And that might be a problem for one of those
Yeah, the
weeks.
transitions are very
Yeah,
good.
the transition are very good. Um, so that's the end of Group E. And now over to the last group, Group H, where we have Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, Korea Republic. Um, yeah, Uruguay and Korea Republic. And for some persons, we look at the Portugal side, right? For many persons, this is the most talented team in the World Cup. Do you guys agree? Talent wise,
Talent wise,
they might not.
maybe in the top three.
Some person like
Definitely in
they're
the
the
top
most
five.
talented side in the World Cup right now. And
Definitely in the top five. But
what says you, Diva?
probably top three.
Um, I would say yeah, top three.
Top three? How many you
Yeah,
agree?
man, they have a real talented squad.
Definitely not the most talented. Brazil definitely wins that every day of the week and twice on Sundays. But yes, it's a talented squad. I think but the goalkeepers they're solid goalkeepers, but nothing to write home about. When you look at those goalkeepers, Rui Patricio, Jose Sa, and Diego Costa, I think that's where the weak link is. By the way, guys,
Diogo
I'm not
Costa?
sure. Yes,
Diogo
they
Costa
have.
is like one of the future big star goalkeepers.
Yes, but at this stage of his career, he hasn't done it just yet. Yes, doing well in the Portuguese league, but as it relates to top quality, I would say that Brazil has by far and away the more talented squad. But that squad, Josh, that really when you look at it, you they should easily escape this group. But guys, my issue, and I'm not sure if you will agree with this though. When I look at the fullbacks though, Cancelo, Nuno Mendes, and I look at Diego Dallo, and I look
Right.
at Rafael Guerrero. I think of the four, I think Diego Dallo is the most balanced as it relates to being able to play both ways, because I think the other three are far better going forward than when they are tasked with defending. Guerrero, we have seen it time and time again. Brilliant left foot, wonderful at set pieces, but is called into question as to defend. Mendes, yes, brilliant young talent, but it should be interesting to see who Fernando Santos uses in the fullback areas, because I think on the right hand side I would go with Dallo as opposed to Cancelo. I think Cancelo even plays better when he plays as a left back, because when he plays as a right back he really
Yeah,
is
but
playing almost
Cancelo
midfield.
can't play left back for his country based on the two
Precisely.
who are there.
Precisely. So that's why I said, Ryan, it's going to be interesting to see who he selects in that right back slot, because I would go with
I'll go
Diego
with
Dallo.
Cancelo, you know. I think Cancelo is the better player.
He
Dallo
definitely
might
More
be.
is,
balance.
but you need balance, because remember, guys, on
Is
the other
Dallo
side, you're
more
going.
balanced though?
I think he
Because
is.
I don't rate Dallo going forward. I think Dallo is better
No,
defensive wise.
when I say balance, you remember, you're going to have on the left hand side, whether it's Guerrero or Mendes, they're going to be bombing forward because that's their natural game, right? So you
Yeah.
don't want a case where you have two rampage now fullbacks, because you don't want them to get caught high up the pitch. So that's why I would pitch for a Diego Dallo as opposed to a Cancelo, who's easily the better footballer. like
But
Based
you
on
know
Cancelo.
when they play for Portugal though, Cancelo mainly starts. However, you don't really see both based on who the coach is. You don't really see his two wing backs, man. Is
Yeah, based on who
they
I was
play
just point that
they
out.
play
Based on
staggered.
who
They play stagger,
But
so when one go
but
one
but
stay, one stay.
but can Cancelo really rein in, because it's not something
But
that
yeah,
he can learn over. Cancelo cannot defend, Ryan, and you know that.
yeah. Because he's a risky player. So you think that it likely he might have to do what Southgate do. Start two right back. One bombing and both Cancelo and Dallat. That tactic he probably has an employer, but based on Portugal coach, right? He's very conservative, he's very defensive. But I think even if Cancelo start, you probably won't see that attacking aspect of him like you see at City, based on the type of coach that Portugal has.
But to be fair, I want the other guys to weigh in on this, guys.
Yeah,
But to be fair though, yes, we know that Fernando Santos, he's a conservative coach by nature. But to be fair though, this is the first I have seen them with so much talent right across the board,
that's true.
dating back to the golden
yeah.
generation of the Rui Costa, the Figo of yesteryear, João Pinto, that generation that was ultra talented. But I think even in 2014, 2018, I think those squads, they were probably top heavy, and there were concerns at the back. In midfield, they didn't have the nose, didn't have the technical ability like what you have now. I think right across the board, because when you look at some of the players who are not probably going to get a look in, like a Vitinha, who has been one of the real standout players in Europe this season, flopped at Wolverhampton Wanderers, mind you. Yes, he was injured for the most part, but didn't make it at Molineux, and now basically a sure starter for Paris Saint-Germain. And he's a press resistant player who really, really is good on the ball. So I think I'm not sure if he will be able to keep this conservative approach with these players, because these players are so good going forward. And we saw, yes, it was a warm-up game against Nigeria, but they were just so expressive on the field. People were
Um,
doing flicks, tricks, all of that.
I almost said the same thing about them in Euros. That will they be able to play whatever? And they were very conservative in Euros.
But it didn't work out for them, Ryan. So
It did
so
not.
um so and he has received flack, and deservedly so, because I think this team has
But
too much
I
quality.
don't think his nature can change. That is just the way he is as a coach. At this age, he's what, almost 70 now?
Yeah, I don't. It's hard for those coaches to change for real. But Ryan, what do you make of the team?
I think it's a very good team, a very balanced team in terms of they have very good players in each position and they have like good backups for each player. Look at the fullbacks, look at the defense, good up and coming young centre back. Their midfield is good. I wouldn't necessarily say great, but good midfielders. Up front, very solid options. There is no, unfortunately, no Liverpool guy again. Remember again, Dima?
Jota.
Jota, no Jota, unfortunately. Joe Martino, is he retired or something?
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I think he retired after. I think he did, but I'm not sure. But I'm almost certain that he did finally hang up his boots at international level.
Oh, okay. I was wondering why he was not in the squad, even though he's like 37 now. But he plays very well for them and he normally starts. So it's a very good team, a very good balanced team. I think Portugal has the same problem that England has, the coach. The coach um, will be a factor, might be a factor in terms of how far they go. If they go very far, it might be in spite of the coach, not because of the coach. But team wise, is a very good squad, a very balanced squad. Probably maybe the second or third best squad in the World Cup. Maybe they passed France now based on the injuries that France
The
has had.
Francis, yeah.
Yeah, so for me, they might go into second right now.
Quick
Um,
check, Ryan. He actually has not retired from international because he was actually in the 55-man
oh, he
shortlist,
was.
but he was not selected by
Or
Fernando
maybe he was
Santos.
phased out. Maybe the coach decided to phase him out now.
Yep.
He's like
But
100 and almost 150 games, so
yep,
it is what it
yep,
is.
All
yep,
Yeah.
right,
yep.
Dima, your closest neighbors.
So here's the thing, right? And I mean, if you can phase out, well, not phase out, but if you can leave Renato Sanchez, who was probably like the golden boy at one time, like you can just leave him out now, and you have people like Paulina, who has been awesome in the Premier League and very underrated. Nobody now talk about him, but it's fine. But he has been really good in the Premier League since he came. Paulina and all of these guys, Bernard, like you just call names and it's there. But the key part in this is Cristiano Ronaldo. Like,
Yeah, I was going to come to
will
him.
he will he have something to prove for this World Cup? Obviously, he wants to win the World Cup, but with all of this noise surrounding him, and the whole Manchester United and Ten Hag not respecting him and not playing him and all of this thing, will he want to prove and say, listen, I'm going to perform at this World Cup and show you guys that I still have it left in me? Will he drive his team forward? I know people are saying, him and Bruno don't play well together and all of these things. And I mean, I guess stats are there to show that, and sometimes they can see it as well. Bruno plays better without him sometimes, blah blah blah. But
And then Dima,
Cristiano
you have to
Ronaldo,
ask Christian.
mm-hmm,
And then you have to you also have to ask the next question: will he be the weak link for this thing?
exactly. So that's why I'm saying this for me will all be about Cristiano Ronaldo, and will he drive his team forward or will he be the hindrance to the team? So it's
Yeah,
split.
and then also
Uh,
how regular can he play and how
Yeah,
much minutes?
mm,
yeah.
Because the
yeah.
seven
So
match
so
is
the,
6 times if you go far.
so Yeah, so this team goes as far as Cristiano Ronaldo goes for me. That's just my if he's good for them, then they'll do well. If not, then obviously you know what that means.
And here's the thing: to the media in Portugal is actually calling for the coach to drop him. Right? So they have been
Oh
causing
yeah?
media, yes, from the other day there. He spoke
Wow.
somewhat to it the other day in interview apart from the England, talk about the media at home. There have been calls from the
Hmm.
media there to drop in based on how talented the team is and that the fact
Yeah.
that they
Yeah.
think that if he plays and the coach is going to play him, but they think that if he plays the team won't perform to the best of their abilities.
Mm.
That's what the media in back home is saying, and from your own country media is actually putting that forward. It probably
Mm.
says a lot that they think it might hold back the squad itself. Ham,
Yeah.
what do you think about Christie effect on this team?
Well, it's difficult to not play Ronaldo. We
Yeah,
know
very.
all that he has done for the Portuguese national team. Notwithstanding the fact that he has been a big part player at this season at club level now, and the fallout of the interview with Piers Morgan and all of that. But when you look at the options, they don't necessarily fill you with confidence as to who, because you see the thing is, um, João Felix, we know how talented he is. That move from Benfica to Atletico Madrid, ill-fated, hasn't worked out. Let's not fool
And
ourselves.
that is
Andres
one of the most talented players I've seen around. But
Andres Silva, and furthermore, João Felix doesn't play well as a natural number nine. He plays best as a
Exactly.
second striker, where
Yeah.
he plays in the half space and comes short. So he's a second striker at best, right? Can play out
Mm-hmm.
wide, can fill a role through the middle, but that's not where he's best equipped. Andre Silva, every time we see him, guys, and we write him off. He goes and has a season where he scores a bucket loads of goals, and then we say, all right,
Mm,
yes, he's now going to make the cut at the top level. Still
yeah.
waiting for it. He was also heralded along with Renato Sanchez as the golden boys of Portuguese football before João Felix's rise at Benfica. So you're scratching your head to see who are the options. Ricardo Horta is an interesting proposition. Late bloomer, about 28, has done the business for Braga, but he's not naturally a number nine either. So they have their issues. Rafael Leo, I think, needs to play in this team. He's explosive, dynamic, 6 feet two, able to outrun any defender across Europe. With goals as well. He has been the man for AC Milan, but he's also best equipped when coming from a wide position, preferably from the left. So the thing is, guys, even if Ronaldo isn't up to his best, and we know his best days are long gone, I think based on the options that he has available at his disposal, I think Ronaldo still should start at least the first game once he's fit, because the others, they don't fill me with confidence at any rate, despite the fact that Ronaldo is fast approaching his 38th birthday, and we have seen where Father Time has obviously caught up with the phenomenon.
All right, so that's it for Portugal. In the group, this group seems to be very difficult in choosing a
Yeah,
second
it
group
is.
side. Very, very difficult. But we have Ghana, our African brothers, right? What do you guys make of this Ghana team? I'm going to put this up on the screen. And then one of you guys can just chip in on Ghana
I
chances.
think they, I think they have some very good players. Um, let me see the squad now.
So basically, um, the squad, so that's the goalkeepers, Lawrence, Ibrahim. Defenders, they have Daniel Amarte,
Baba Dede.
Baba. Yes, Baba is there. Yeah, Alexander Ipu, Tariq Lamptey. I'm not even. I didn't even remember that Lamptey is playing for Ghana now.
Yep,
Gideon Mensah,
Yeah, man,
Dennis.
remember I said it last night, or night before.
along with Inaki Williams up front.
Yeah,
You
Inaki
know,
Williams up
Williams,
front,
yeah.
right? They have actually a good team. Jordan Ayus, an old player, right? What chances do you give them? Do you guys give them a chance of coming out of the group, or you think that's
No, no, no. I give them a chance to compete, not to come out of the group. Wait, the two Ayu brothers are there.
Yes,
Interesting.
yes, there.
yeah, too eyebrows.
I'm the oh Salisu is there. I was looking for Salisu.
And the
Is
informed
there
Thomas Partey.
and Party, yeah. They will give some trouble in the group. But I don't think they will make it out of the group. But they will give some trouble.
Because they
Um, they have
seem,
a
yeah.
they have a decent team. I heard that Hudson Odoi turned on the call to represent them in the World Cup for whatever reason. Maybe he's still holding out for England, still has England hopes and so forth. But Ghana, decent squad. I don't really see them. They will give some trouble here and there in the group, but I don't really see them coming out. I don't think they have the quality overall, the overall quality to overwhelm the group and make it out of it. Cool. Yeah. So for me, they don't come out.
What do you think, Ham, regarding Ghana?
Uh, I agree with Ryan, but I'm looking out for three players. Kudos, who would have seen quite frequently for Ajax, dynamic player with a brilliant left foot, 20 years old. He's a star on the rise. Sulemana, who has been championed as the big thing of Ghanaian football, flopped at the African Cup of Nations massively when all those hopes were on his shoulders. Just didn't look the part. Hasn't impressed since making that big move to Rennes. I think the hype has probably gotten to him, so he needs to put a performance in. And also Isahaku, who I think is one that we definitely should look out for. 18 years old, plays for Sporting recently, made his club debut, talented, ferocious left foot on him. So I think when I look at the team, Salisu and Amarty at the back, Lamptey will be up and down that flank. Inaki Williams leading the line. They will make a shout, but when you look at Portugal and look at Uruguay, it's hard to make a compelling case for Ghana because I don't think I think they, despite the fact that Partey is playing so well, guys, and Salisu and Amarte are good players, I think they have a soft center, and I think just like Ghana, even when they were the best team in Africa, you always fancied yourself about scoring against them. And you're not sure how many goals do they have in them because they will create chances. The interplay will be good. They will look dynamic. They'll be exciting. But I think they lack cutting edge. And Inaki Williams, for all his tireless running for Athletic Bilbao, has not been the most prolific at club level. And I don't think he's suddenly going to turn into a Miroslav closer at this World Cup. So I don't see them coming out of the group, but I think they'll be competitive in all three games, and I think they will not disgrace themselves.
All right, Dima.
Yeah, I mean, not much more to add. The obviously the addition of Inaki Williams, who decided to split from his brother, let his brother play for Spain while he represented Ghana. That's a big step up. A quality striker to have with pace, like this person is saying. Obviously, the little Spanish touch in him. It's going to be good, and Tariq Lamptey has pace as well, but I don't see them coming out of this group. I think that they'll finish third. They'll probably win or draw with one of the big guys, but yeah, they won't have enough to come through. I think Uruguay and Portugal will come through.
And as I mentioned, Uruguay, Dima, what do you think of the Uruguay team? I'm going to put it up now on screen.
So
You mean?
much quality, so much quality. Listen, as much as you guys know my feelings on Nunes, and he's going to be leading the line with obviously the great man, Suarez, the informed Valverde is in that team who can do no wrong. He's probably going to be one of the major contributors. They have Torreira in midfield, and obviously, like they just have a good team all around. Like you can't really, like, it's a very underrated team. You can't
And they
really
have
go
Valverde,
wrong.
who's on farm.
Yeah, I just say that, boss. Say now, listen. That's that. I just say Valverde. And one of the things that really stood out to me was that Bentancur was from Uruguay. I did not know that at all. Like, Bentancur is in the form of
Really?
his life right now.
Yeah, he's in the
No,
farm of
I
his life.
didn't know. And then, he's in the form of his life at this moment too. So they have a really good team. Defense, Sebastian Cortes should be in that team. Wait, I'm gonna see him.
He's there.
Must be
Yes, he's
Godin.
there.
Oh yes, so
Jimenez.
but yeah. So they have a solid team,
Yeah,
and
good deal,
one of the
imminent.
the sleeper teams who could surprise a few people. So yeah, I have them coming out with Portugal.
Ham, what do you make of Uruguay?
The thing about it, guys, and I think you'll agree, it's a travesty that Suarez and Cavani have these players in midfield at the end of their career. Because when you look at the midfielders, and Dima mentioned Torreira, but Torreira won't start. Vecino,
Yeah, it
who's
was
doing very, very well at Lazio, did well at Inter, has been grossly underrated. I think Vecino definitely will be in that midfield three alongside the aforementioned Bentancur and obviously Valverde, who will be the X factor given the license to join the attack. It should be interesting though, guys, to see what formation Uruguay goes with because I think at the back they are counting on Araujo because Araujo is definitely the best defender, but he has had his injury problems. Godin is the captain, but he really shouldn't play because he has fallen off the cliff. He has age, but also his form don't nosedive, injury prone now, getting on almost approaching 40. So
Yeah.
his best years are definitely behind him. I think one player to look out for, guys, Matthias Oliveira plays for Napoli, and we know Napoli has been flying, and he has been very instrumental down at left hand side, dovetailing brilliantly with the much heralded Kravachik Keller for Napoli. So some of these players, they have been doing very well for their club teams, and I think they entered the tournament in the pink of form. Not sure who is going to go with in goal. Muslera has been there probably from like like for
Ever
ages,
since.
But 30 years in there.
Yeah.
but so it's a very very good crop of players. But the thing is, I'm not sure if he's going to go 4-3-3 and play both old timers, or I think he really should play Giovanni the Arrasqueta, who is grossly underrated and brilliant at Flamingo. He's basically the man who makes Flamingo tick from out on the left. So I think he should play alongside Nunes and obviously Suarez. And I think Cavani should play the role of a super sub, even though in his limited appearances this season in La Liga, we have seen where he still has it, even at the right old age of 35. Provided that he remains fit, he'll be a very, very viable option from the bench along with Maxi Gomez.
Ryan, what do you make of this Uruguay side?
Decent squad. I criticized Germany for having um, a weird transitional phase. However, the difference with Uruguay and Germany is that a lot of the old players for Uruguay won't start because you have like five of them now going into their fourth World Cup. I don't think more than two will start or should start. So that for me is the difference. The younger players will be the main ones who will get playing time. Hopefully, Arao is fit and he can play
Play at centre back,
because yeah, he's
centre back
clearly
alongside Jimenez.
Jimenez, yeah.
definitely because
I, I heard Nemo pitching for his former player, Sebastian Coates, who has been
quarters. I
No,
don't
who has
think
been good. He has been good
Oh,
for
I thought.
Sporting.
Oh,
He has been
okay.
good, but
he's good, but
he has been in. He has had injury problems as well this
yeah,
season.
and Sporting hasn't been doing very well either. They have been very hit and miss.
Yes, they have been up and
Sporting.
down, and he has had his injury and troubles this season. Demo.
Can I pitch for my former player as well, Varela?
Well, down the right hand
Oh,
side,
you don't remember Varela?
I would go with Vina, but Araujo is so adaptable and he has done
Yeah,
very well playing down the right hand side. But the thing is, I would go with my centre back playing at centre back as opposed to playing him in a position that he can obviously play, but
yeah,
I think
but
it takes
centre
away
back is
from the
clearly his strongest
precisely,
position, without a doubt.
precisely, precisely.
I
Totally
think they
agree
should
with
go
you.
with their best players in the best positions.
Position.
And Ryan,
I
as
don't
you
think
mentioned,
I don't think they'll deviate from their 4-4-2 though, because with the old man coach that they fire, what's his name again?
yeah.
Tavares.
I was just going to talk
Yeah,
about
yeah. He
yeah,
was a 4-4-2
he
person,
was a
and
4-4-2
this
person.
new coach is still using the 4-4-2. So I don't think they'll deviate from that in the World Cup.
And
But
do you,
yeah,
yeah, I was going to ask because you mentioned a point earlier. Do you think that's the reason that you said a lot of the old players won't start? Do you think that's because they fired the coach, the previous coach, that normally stick with the same season player?
possibly, because coaches like certain players, especially the ones that they have had and who have been doing it for them over a period of time. So that's quite possible. Um, yeah, but for me, Uruguay comes out of this group. To be honest with you, maybe 5 points will do it for them, or probably six. But for me, they'll get out of the group in second.
Okay. And that's it for the end of our groups, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put
You miss
all
out
three of you
somebody,
guys
man.
in South Korea, yeah.
You know
South
nothing
Korea.
about
What
South
do you think about
Korea?
South Korea? You guys are not expecting much from them.
South Korea is a very good team, Not gonna
They
Yeah.
are.
forget that. And
They're,
however, they go as far as Sun goes, and depends on how fit Sun is.
yeah, they are. There's a team. They are a team that is hard to beat. What do you think about them, Demo?
No, boss, that's Sun Korea. I mean, it's whatever sun, wherever sun goes, the team goes. I don't know anything about them. I just know that they have Huming Sun. That's it.
Um, Mr. Ham, you might know something about them. What do you say about them?
I think they have more than Demo is crediting them for. But yes, their fortunes obviously will lie in the fitness and form of Son, because he is that talismanic presence for the South Korean team. But at centre back, Kim who we have seen basically seamlessly replace Koulibaly at Napoli, arguably the most informed centre back across Europe, the complete centre back, 26 years old, oozes confidence on the ball, pacey, about 6'3". So he's physical. I think they will have something to see. We saw them in 2018, giving the defending champions all they could manage. So I'm not going to write them off, but there are issues that some of their players up front. Juan at Molyneux plays for Wolves, hasn't done the business this season. Has been also suffering from injuries as well. But when he has been fit, hasn't looked the player who he was when he joined. Remember when he joined last season? He was scoring almost every time he went onto the pitch. So I think their issues will be that their attackers are either injured or not necessarily in the best of form. Son is the aberration, but even he had some issues early doors this season, and then he started to score, started to look the playoff goal, and then he got that injury. But we know that if he's on his game, they can trouble you, and you're not going to score many goals on them. And they're going
Yeah,
to play
they're
on the
very
counter
they're
attack.
tight.
We know what they're very hard to break down with that
Yeah.
low block, and then they spring forward quickly, and they are able to get through the transitional phases very very quickly. So I think if they have their shooting boots, they can trouble, especially Uruguay, because I have concerns about Uruguay's center of defense, because Jimenez hasn't looked the player who we thought he would ultimately become. Because when we saw him the first time around in 2010, we thought that this player was going to be someone who was going to go right to the top. And I think he has plateaued very, very quickly. Has more than one mistakes in him. Araujo is injured. Coates has had his troubles with injuries. Godin is past his sell-by date. So I
It's
think they can definitely trouble on Uruguay, but I expect Uruguay to have a little bit too much up front in terms of Suarez,
I think
Nunes, all of those, Valverde, Arrascaeta, Cavani. They have so many weapons, the Uruguayans.
no, Michelle. Just for correction's sake, if Uruguay finish second in the group, they won't play Brazil. So Brazil will play the group that contains Spain and Germany. Whichever team finish second in that group, um, Brazil will play one of those teams from Group E.
So Brazil versus Japan then.
Right. So
Okay.
Uruguay came second in their group in Group H. They will play a team from Group F, which contains Belgium, Canada, Morocco, or Croatia. So Uruguay is likely to play Belgium in the second round if the groups go according to what we think. So I'm going to put up the groups one more time, guys, and then you will run through, give your prediction for top two. Okay. And then I'm gonna put you
Right,
all
boss.
three of you guys on the spot to make the World Cup prediction as to which team will actually win the World Cup.
Lovely.
Right, boss.
Right. So you guys are going to call it from now. So with them the end when World Cup final, then nobody can say that you actually
Hold
switch.
on, just a question, just a question. The World Cup of a song? Come on, really hear the
I'm not
song.
hearing
It's
the song
like
as
me alone, I
you know,
miss it.
I'm hearing the
There's
song
no
as
song.
Little baby, a couple months ago, they said I'm asking for do a song, but I don't hear it.
Oh,
right.
come here, say me not understand. Me I fair sing when I get older. Nah, nah, nah. Like me don't know how the song.
I basically if you sing it's coming home.
Oh,
Oh
please.
Lord, oh my gosh.
All right, quickly, Group A, the top two teams. Dima.
All right, so my top two are the thing. This Josh, why don't you use the
Yes.
thing, boss? Who must send
The
you? But all
the
right, fine. The app. But so group A, I have the Netherlands topping the group and Senegal coming out after that.
All
So
right.
Netherlands, Senegal. We had to write it down. You see, if you just use the app, this would be so much easier.
No man,
Um,
we have to write it down. Just wanted to give you the
group B, group B, I have England topping the group and Wales just to sneak it ahead of the USA. Group C, I have Argentina and I don't think Mexico will have enough. I think Poland are gonna nip it ahead of Mexico. Then Group D, France and Denmark, and then Group E, Germany and Japan. Group F, Belgium and Croatia. But Canada will put up a real fight in that group. I must add that.
You're leaving
But
out Morocco, but continue.
boss, must say Canada. Don't tell me about Morocco. So Belgium and Croatia, and then Group C, Brazil and ooh, this
Tough
is
down.
so tough. Um, Mega sneak Switzerland over Serbia, just barely, and then obviously Portugal and Uruguay, one and
All
two.
right. Mr. Ham, what do you think about top two from each group?
The Netherlands from Group A. Going to go with Ecuador from Group A. I just think that they are a bit better balanced than Senegal, especially with Senegal missing a key
Man,
component in Sadio Mane. I don't think Senegal has enough goals in them, and I think they are going to flatter to deceive. In Group B, I think England and Iran. I think in Azmoun and Taremi. I think Iran has two lethal attackers, and I think they will be hard to break. And I think they have um, X factors in attack. Azmoun, big injured out, but he has been declared fit, so I expect him to hit the ground running. In Group C, Argentina, and it's a tough one because Mexico usually finds the wherewithal to get out of the group, no matter who they are pitted against. But when you look at Mexico, they made it difficult during World Cup qualifying. Yes, they did qualify easily at the end, but none of those games, even when they played at altitude in the Azteca, they didn't look like the Mexico of old. I think Poland, this is the best crop that Lewandowski has had around him. Zelensky, Simansky, I think they have Milik. They have a lot of options this time around. So I'm going to go with the Europeans. So I think Poland pips Mexico to join Argentina in Group C. Group D, I think France and Denmark. France losing players left, right, and center. The back door winner is now out. But I think the Danes very, very dangerous. As a matter of fact, I would not be surprised if the Danes won this group with something to spare because they have all their players available. They breeze through qualifying and they put it across France two
I
times
know
in the
Philip
nations
Billing. Can you imagine?
in the Nations League, and they are just well, yes, Billing wasn't selected, but such is their options because look at that midfield guys quickly Ericsson, there's Højbjerg, there's Delaney. Further forward, we have Skull Olsen. We have on the other side, we have Lindstrom, who is very, very good. I think Damsgaard hasn't had the impact that we expected him to have at Brentford so far. So I don't think he'll start. He's not showing the form like he had at Sampdoria. So I think Denmark wins that group. France comes second. Group E. This is a difficult one. I'm going to go with Germany and Spain, but I wouldn't be surprised if Japan beats any of these two Europeans because I'm not sold on them, but I think they have enough class to beat the Japanese. In Group F, Morocco, I think they will be a dangerous team for all of these. Belgium and Croatia are the prohibited favorites. Canada, they are very, very good as a team. I think Demo hit the nail on the head when he said look out for them because I don't think they'll be embarrassed. But I think I would be more inclined to go with Belgium and Morocco. I'm not impressed with Croatia this time around, guys. I think Modric, Perisic, Brozovic, they are coming to the end of their cycle. Lovren at 39, his best days are long past him. So I think I'm going
I
to
think
go
we
with
lost Ham
Morocco. I'm going to go with
there.
Morocco and Belgium. For Group G, Brazil and Serbia. Cameroon, I think, will make a good fist of it if they are able to defend properly, guys. Because in attack, they have weapons that can hurt the others. in the group, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to protect Andre Onana in goal. In Group H, Portugal and Uruguay look like the best poised to go through. Uruguay have issues with their defense, but I think they have enough to beat Ghana and also the Korean Republic.
Ryan.
All right. So Group A, I have Netherlands to win that group and Ecuador to come second. I think Senegal is going to flatter to deceive. Um, um, Qatar, I don't know what kind of fight they're going to put up, but let us see. But as it is, I don't have them to go through either. Group B, which is the toughest group in the World Cup based on predictions, so it will not be easy. I don't think anybody is going to walk this group. There will be some tough fights in it. I don't think there will be. This group might have the least amount of goals this World Cup. So I am going England just ahead of Iran. Yeah, no USA going through our Wales. Group C, I definitely Argentina. This group will have a lot of goals because Saudi Arabia is in it. So
And
there
you're
will be a lot of
expecting that Argentina Saudi Arabia game. I'm expecting that to be the highest scoring game in
no,
World Cup.
that going full of goals.
5-6
Um,
Argentina.
for second though is a shootout for me between Mexico and Poland, and I'm going to give the edge to Mexico because of their history. So just on that alone, they have a way of knowing what to do and how to do it to make it out of a group. Group D, I have Denmark to win the group ahead of France, who is suffering injuries and other things within the camp that I'm hearing about. So for me, Denmark seems to be a well-oiled machine right now, and they might be the dark horse for the tournament. So for me, Denmark ahead of France. Group E, ah, tough one to call. It look easy on paper, but it's tough to call. I don't think who wins this group might win it with even 6 points. For me, I'm gonna go with Spain and Japan ahead of Germany. So Spain and Japan out of that group for me. Group F, same situation as Group E. Um, in terms of it being a tough one to call. I don't think Belgium or Croatia, whoever comes out at top, will walk the group either. But I'm gonna go Belgium first and Croatia just ahead of Morocco. Croatia's cycle is ending in terms of their big players, so I think Croatia will expire at the round of 16 stage. Group G, Brazil definitely easily, comfortably over. I think it's a shootout between Switzerland and Serbia, and I'm going to give the Swiss the edge. Group H, Portugal and Uruguay. Ghana and Korea will make some noise, but not enough.
All right. You guys are on the spot now. Who will win the 2022 Qatar World Cup? Dima.
Well, for me, I think it's going to be Lionel Messi and his charges, Argentina lifting the World Cup, and then there will be a lot of noise about who is the GOAT and the GOAT debate and all of this stuff. So I have Argentina winning the World Cup because of how balanced I think their squad is and the X factor of Lionel Andres Messi.
All right. Ham. You.
While I agree with most of what Dima said, it's difficult to look past Brazil. Argentina, though, guys, 36 games unbeaten. The last time they lost was to Brazil in the Copa America semifinal in 2019. So long ago, that was before COVID and all of that.
In a different time.
They are very very difficult to beat, difficult to break down. They play as a team, which is strange when you describe Argentina because they always seem like a mismatch in attack and then defense and then there's no midfield. No, they look like a well drilled machine under Scaloni. But I think I'm going to go with Brazil. But if they play in the semifinals as they are are likely to do based on the draw and the groups. I think the winner of that definitely would be odds-on favorite to win the title. But I'm going to Brazil right now because I think they have so much going for them. But I wouldn't be surprised if Argentina wins. But they are definitely two favorites, guys, because France, um, before all these injuries, you would make a compelling case based on the players that they have available. But I think they have lost so many players in such key positions that it's difficult to see this depleted French squad making a real fist of it. And I think the other European teams, they have question marks. The Netherlands are dangerous though. So I think we should watch out for them because they have no pressure and they come into the tournament in the pink of form.
Right.
Well, it will be somebody from South America. In European teams tend not to do that well outside of Europe traditionally, even though they have Germany has won it in Brazil. But generally speaking, I have a South American team to win it, and that
But
South
Spain
American.
won it in Africa.
Spain, South Africa.
Oh yeah. Forget about that. Yeah. But generally speaking, outside of that, yeah. But my South American team to win is gonna be Brazil. I think the Brazil and Argentina are balanced team, but I think Brazil has a little bit more for me than Argentina. So I think Brazil will they'll meet in the semi and Brazil will edge it. It might even go all the way to penalties. Um, but for me, Brazil gets it this time in 2022, and they better win it because if they don't win it, I am going to be
That's
on
my
their.
And I agree with him. I can't see. I think Brazil will give them a real challenge, but I think Argentina will win the World Cup. That beat up I see Argentina give Italy. My. I can't see past them not winning this World Cup and the fact that they are on form. This is the best I'm seeing Argentina play football in like 20 years. Even better than when they went to the finals of 2014 World Cup. I think this team is actually playing better than that team. Um, they have also 36 games unbeaten. That might be a problem though, that they are due a loss. So I'm wondering when that loss is going to come. It has to be in the World Cup. But let's hope that loss come in one of the group games and not in one of the knockout games. But it's hard for a team to go over 40 games unbeaten, and that might be another factor that they are due a loss. But
Them
overall,
can lose one penalty and still maintain them
yeah,
record.
that's it. And still maintain their record. But I think Argentina, the X factor, will Lionel Messi, and if that happens, then the whole place will basically blaze up with that debate with Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. Probably that debate will come to an end if he does, right?
And guys, I dare say I don't think that debate will ever come to an end
Yeah,
because in that event, I think the next argument is going to be that well he should have won it before based on the talent.
yeah. But they're going to
Not
say
look,
that.
not looking at the fact that those teams were top heavy in 2010, in 2006 Peckerman basically micromanaged and made some ill-fated decisions, pulling your playmaker Riquelme, thinking that you're going to defend Germany, scores,
Mm.
goes to penalty, all of that. So I think it's a debate that will never end because there are going to be other variables which are brought into the
Brought
equation.
into play.
Also, when you look at players of yesteryear, that's why I never get into this debate, guys, about GOAT, because the game is so different nowadays. When I started watching football in the first World Cup I actually watched was 1990. At that time, you were still able to play the ball back to the goalkeeper, and he could pick it up with his hand.
Yeah.
No, the game is so different now. So it's difficult to compare players who played in that era with players who play now because the rules are different. The game is officiated differently. There are so many variables, guys, and I think we'll all agree. So this whole notion that and it's not like
And
striker
defenders were not necessarily one
precisely,
needed to carry out the ball.
precisely.
Wing backs never
Right.
played that high. Yeah.
Goalkeepers weren't are not required to play with the ball at their feet. The risk that players are now forced to take based on how the game is played. It's much different back then. The rules in terms of tackling, officiating, all of that. So that's why I never get into this
And then you
debate.
have VAR.
Fun fact, fun fact for Argentina as well, and I mean it might be superstitious and all of that, but this is going to be the first World Cup since Maradona died, so there's always that light up the fire for Lionel Messi and the guys do it for them former legend.
And I made a post some months ago that I can't see past a South American team not winning the World Cup, and that is either Brazil or Argentina. It's the first time in 20 years that I think that the South American team, a South
Well, if they
American
meet at the semi stage and whoever wins, we know who will win the final.
we know will be in
Put
the
it that
final.
way.
Normally, you would say like every World Cup, you have these European teams, them very strong, but they seems really hard for this one. But let's see if they go to spin surprises. Like the biggest surprise I'm expecting is Netherlands, right? And they might get a run straight to the semis. So tomorrow
I think
game,
I think Netherlands would meet Argentina though.
or they'll meet Argentina in the quarters.
Quarter.
Quarters.
Oh, I wonder if Van Gaal can pull off one of his tactical noise he's known for. But let's see. um, or the World Cup starts tomorrow, guys, and we have our first match at 11 a.m. Jamaican time, and that's Ecuador
Qatar.
versus Qatar. And you guys are expecting Ecuador to beat Qatar, right? Easy or
I,
good?
I I don't even know what Qatar is doing, boss. I hear them training behind closed doors and all of these things. For not make nobody see them play and all of this madness. But I know Ecuador has a very good team, so I'm probably going to pick Ecuador to beat them.
Did the Qatar play one of the CONCACAF team since here? They did one of the
Well, they
Probably.
played in the goal. They remember guys that they played in the
yeah.
goal in the Gold Cup.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
Gold Cup. I know that they were playing
Mm.
They
CONCACAF.
actually got all the way to the semi-finals. They won their group.
Yes, they
Yes,
did.
we know the level of the World Cup is not
Yeah.
comparable with the World Cup. So let's not fool ourselves. But it just goes to show that that while people will write them off, they are
They
playing
have
at
improved.
home. They have improved. What we know of players from that part of the world is that technically they're going to be very good on the ball. But in terms of the pace and the physicality that the Ecuadorians will bring, I think that will be the defining factor in this game. So I think Ecuador wins it, but I don't think they're going to disgrace Qatar because I think Qatar they are better than people are making them out to be. And I think in Afif they have a player who really should be playing in one of Europe's top five leagues. He's that good, so I think he'll be the danger man definitely for the Qataris come tomorrow.
Ryan, what do you think of that game?
Um, I have Ecuador to win the game, but if Qatar wins, I won't be surprised because they have improved remarkably, and they are at home, so home conditions will come into play. But it could be a game with a lot of goals, as well as it could be a game with only one goal. So for me, I have Ecuador winning right now.
All right, and just to let you guys know, and our viewers, we'll be having a show every day throughout the tournament. So 7 a.m. We'll be having a previous show on Monday for the game include England versus Iran, which starts at 8 a.m. So our regular host Levon will have a previous show at 8 a.m. Then I'll be doing our
7
one.
a.m.
Huh? So if you guys are
7
7
available for
7.
7 a.m., 7 a.m. in the morning, right? So those who are available for 7 a.m. you can let me know. I will be having a watch along for the game Senegal versus Netherlands at 11. So that would be a watch along.
Tomorrow.
So 2 hours, Senegal versus the Netherlands at 11 a.m. The last game for the day, USA Wales at 2 p.m. There won't be any watch along for that game, right? We're
Okay,
two
okay.
Bramber teams. So you guys, I will inform you as to and get to know what time you guys are available for those games throughout the day. But we have a watch along each day and also previews and reviews throughout the day. And big up to Dr. Shaky Shakes, who's our main sponsor for the World Cup. So big up. Is also the sponsor for our Sport Frenzy competition, World Cup competition as well. So last word from you guys. I'm seeing a lot of comments about cricket. So Dima, you have been called out over the cricket since night. So
All of a sudden.
you're
All of
Quick,
a sudden.
Would
A lot of
have been
comments.
called out?
Yes, I've seen at
Yes,
least
sir.
6 comments about you at the beginning.
Call
You
call out
guys,
about what?
you switched to Talawas at the last minute.
Boss, say people really me not understand people, First of all, when we're playing T20 cricket in the CPL, under Pollard's leadership, I support TNT. That's franchise cricket. You pick people from all over the place. I am a Trinidad supporter during that time. When I play regional cricket, I support Jamaica. Jamaica I come from. Like it's just as simple as that. So anyway, so let me just put
I
that out there.
understand, Steve,
So
but continue.
boss, understand the difference between players coming from all over the world for
Yeah,
combine and make a
franchise, but
team. Okay, okay, good.
you want
All
the
right.
best
So
franchise player to come to your country.
oh my gosh. Anyway, so
Sure.
let me just go and say, listen, today, I mean the finals of the Super 50, it wasn't the greatest game in terms of batting and stuff, but the bowlers were excellent, especially the Jamaican bowlers. They were great today. But I want to just point out that it was a wonderful, wonderful Super 50 tournament. I'm very happy to see the improvement in the batting going. I know the pitches for the two semifinals, they were like a batting paradise, but for teams, the four teams them will play, all of them got over 300 and man stand up and bat and make centuries and all of these things. It's very good for West Indies cricket going forward. Some of the senior guys who came back from the West Indies senior duty, they came back and they stamped the class. I'm so happy to see Rahman Powell growing in stature as a captain and putting up his hand. I know he's the vice captain, obviously, in the white ball format, but he's putting up his hand right up there. Remember me, I can captain as well. And it's just amazing. I think the leading wicket takers as well in the tournament. I know we said the spinners dominate the Caribbean, and that's true, but all the wicket takers, top three, were seam bowlers. Shannon Gabriel coming back with a bang. I don't rate this Nicholas Garden brother, but he was up there, and Odin Smith. So big up to the regional cricket. It was a
Odin
wonderful
Smith?
tournament. Yes, showing me Odin Smith. He was right up there with the wicket. So big up the regional tournament Super 50. And big up the Jamaica Scorpions. They were awesome. And Rodman Powell led them really well to victory. So shout out to the Jamaican Scorpions. Look about
That's,
Ottawa
that's
straight.
their first victory in what? How many years? 15, 50.
10
Wow.
10
So back to
years.
Tamar Lambert days and Brendan Knight.
Exactly so. And I mean, big up to Chadwick Walton, who was the player of the match today. He's like 37 years old, didn't play cricket since 2018. Came back and played a match winning innings of
Really? That's a long
70 and
amount?
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So big him up. At a 70 or 80, I did make something like that. So big him up, and yeah, we did well today. So big up the staff.
Ryan, your last minute.
Yeah, just to add on to what Dimo said, big up to Jamaica in winning, and also on the batsmen in performing well in terms of the semifinals and making all four teams making over 300. That's very good to see. I didn't follow much of it. I watched some of the games here and there and so forth, but I wasn't really a big follower. But congrats again to Jamaica, and hopefully we can bring this over into international cricket in terms of the performances and so forth. Actually knowing how to play ODI, we forget how to play T20 now, so might as well remember how to play ODI.
All right. And Ryan, that jersey, EPL season is EPL season is out for 6 months. Jersey thing. Not doing it justice, Ryan. Ham, your final minute.
Yes, Josh, just echoing on what the guys just said. I totally agree with Demo's view, re-franchise cricket along as opposed to when you're playing regional cricket and
I
you're
understand
playing
what
for
you're
your
saying,
country.
man. I'm just troubling.
So I'm wondering why persons in the comments are having an issue
Thank
because
you,
it's
sir.
two totally different things.
That's right.
And I agree with him because I have always supported Trinidad at franchise level because it's not like the Jamaica Talawas would be comprised of only Jamaicans. So let's not kid ourselves. As the guy said, it's heartening to see runs being scored, but take it with a pinch of salt because um, the pitches looked from a distance that they were almost like roads. They were flat, and you were able to play through the line. I would like to see this performance um, again on more difficult surfaces. But you have to play the cards that you have been dealt. So they got on run laden pitches and they made it count. I want to see them really make a good fist of it at international level when some of these guys get their call ups again. And with the test series soon to start down under. I am not expecting much. I hope that we are competitive, but playing in Australia, we have always not done well since the mid 1990s. So I just want us to put up a good performance and not be embarrassed in those two matches. One will be played in Western Australia, very quick pitch against arguably the most potent seam bowling attack in Test cricket, and then at Adelaide. So I think that will be interesting to see how our guys get on. It's a young team; we don't expect much from them, but I just want us to be competitive. So that's my ending note. By the
Hold
way,
on. Before you end, boss, I know you say you want us to be competitive, but judging off that warm-up game against that pickup
I
side,
know
boss,
you. I know
please,
you were going to mention.
please,
I know you were going to mention that.
yeah,
What
don't
Yes,
expect us to be.
I'm
it's
not sure if this team still cricketer still has that rule, but I remember like 10 years ago when I was very I used to watch cricket a lot. Is there any chance that West Indies could lose their test cricket status?
The
uh
status.
They used to have a
No,
rule where
well,
if you're not performing for a long while, you lose your
no,
test.
no, you're
yeah,
not losing no test.
and to further that point, Josh, the fact that
Mm.
we are quite competitive when we play at home. So it's not like we are being destroyed by these teams
Yeah, we beat England
in the
We
Yeah,
just
Caribbean.
we
So
just won
we're
two
very
test series
competitive.
back to
and we
back.
beat Bangladesh.
Precisely,
Yeah.
we're very competitive. No matter how strong the teams that are arriving on our shores, we normally put up a good
so how
a
how
good
do they
display.
promote the new teams that are improving, like Ireland, into the test cricket?
That's it. They have to
You don't
continue
need
to
to
do
take away
well at
somebody's spot to promote
yes,
somebody.
just
Oh, they
add.
change it because first time they usually have to like it's just 8 teams are there about play test cricket.
But they have added on these teams. But the thing is, it's difficult to get test fixtures
For
for the
those.
likes the associate countries who would have gained
Who
international
is the
status.
latest team to get test status? Afghanistan?
I think so. Yeah,
Yes, I think they got it before. Before I think they got it after
Ireland
Ireland.
got it before them.
Yes,
Yeah,
so it
yeah.
will be
Yeah, so they
Afghanistan,
came.
and they are very competitive. Their issue is that their batsmen need to learn how to construct innings, but in terms of talent and their bowling side is very good. Nemo, you
Yeah,
had mentioned
the warm up game.
the the World Cup song. I
Oh,
saw
yeah,
where there's one Tuku Taka, Nicki Minaj along with a couple other singers did it. I don't know it, so um,
Oh, is
that
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 the
must be the worst World Cup song ever. Cause when I hear it, boss.
is that the song they mentioned that one of the artists had pull out because of the human rights? Is that the same song or the performance?
I think it is. But the thing is, guys,
Oh,
and they released it a couple days before the start of the World Cup. I think they would have been better served to release the song
Long
probably a
Well,
before.
month ago, so that we would have
Yeah.
caught on to it.
I think it goes, but like when you have an unknown person do a World Cup song, like with Kanan, nobody never knew him before, like that.
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah, I think it does
but
better when something like that happens,
But the South African
as
moment
opposed
still
to
stuck in our heads though. Even
Nicki
as
Minaj.
that's the
2014 came
best
along,
World Cup song ever.
2018 came along, but the 2010 one, South Africa still in our heads.
And Shakira did the one, right?
Yeah,
And the
Shakira
one that
did
Waka
that.
Waka.
Shakira.
Yeah, from South Africa.
Bring
That
back
one,
the vuvuzelas and when I get older. That
yeah,
one.
when I get older, right? That's from South
Brilliant
Africa.
song.
Yeah, that me say that's why I say the vuvuzelas.
Vuvuzela, yeah, man. So Once again, big up guys, big up Ron, big up Demo, Ryan, or analysts, big up
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
big
yeah.
up.
all of you guys in
Listen,
our comment section. At one time we have close to 30. So big up guys for tuning in. And we'll see you throughout the World Cup at different time intervals. So enjoy the rest of your night, guys, and happy weekend.
All right, same to you, Josh. All
Yes,
right,
sir.
Ryan.
listen.